So you see that there is a difference. Some people say, he made me angry. And my question is, can you be angry and calm and act calmly? Yes. Has it been done? Yes. Have people done it? Yes. Can it be done? Yes. Does it take willpower and commitment? Yes. Does it take practice? If you're not there yet, it's okay. You're having a human experience. You can start practicing today that, anger is showing up. And you need to be able to process your feelings as they're coming by understanding. Like I want to ask you a question. I want you to reflect. Where do you normally feel anger in your body? Because when you begin to have self-awareness and pay attention to yourself, you would understand when some of these negative emotions are showing up. And then you're able to pause rather than react. You're able to process the trigger and respond. It's just a trigger. And it's a message. It's telling you that something needs attention. What kind of attention are you choosing to give it? Are you choosing to give it negative attention or to direct it to the kind of outcomes you want? Because in each interaction, you're seeking an outcome. If you don't have an outcome in mind, you can allow, whatever is happening take its course. You allow it to lead you. But if you have an outcome in mind, in this case, we're discussing peace. If peace is the outcome you want, then you need to be able to process your trigger to get to that place of peace. Is it easy? No. Is it doable? Yes. Has it been done? Yes. Can you, practice it? I'm not saying that, if you're not already doing it, you're going to become an expert at it. Just because we spoke about it today. Now, if you commit to it, it is possible to become an expert. Remember that all masters were once beginners. Everybody, at each point, it takes us to take a decision. And that decision is the cornerstone to forming better habits and becoming a better person. So I'm going to give us 30 seconds to reflect and ask ourselves, what are those things in my life right now that is robbing me of peace? And do I want to take a decision today to start to practice, to become better? It's your choice. If peace is a choice you have taken a decision on to commit to living a peaceful life so you can have a peaceful home. Remember that in a home, we have individuals there. A home that does not have a human being is a house. But when you have a home with people in it, you can be at cause. We call it being at cause. Being at cause is being action-oriented, is being proactive, is taking responsibility for the kind of outcomes you want to see in your life and to contribute to the outcome you want to see as a family. So I'm going to give us 30 seconds. Think about it and write it down. What are those things in your life right now that is robbing you of peace? And do you want to take a decision? It's solely yours. You're going to do the work. Coach Aisha is not going to come into your house to do the work for you. But I can share tips with us so that these tips serve as reminders for us that we have the capacity. You're either at cause or you're at effect. Being at cause is being proactive, taking action, taking responsibility, and actually tying your camel, doing what you need to do. While being at effect, you say, this person is responsible, that person is responsible, that thing cost it, that person cost it. And you remove the power you have, the power of vigilancy that Allah has given you, the power of free will, the power to contribute that Allah has given you. You remove it from the equation. And now it's time for the 30 seconds.
Okay, let me try it. I would like to know.
Thank you. It's gone? Okay. So, have you written something down? Have you taken a decision today? Now, that decision you have taken takes work. I've mentioned that whenever we take a decision, right, when we have committed to peace in this instance, it's at the level of mind, which is mental, at the level of heart, which is the emotional, processing our emotions, then at the level of body, which is now translating it into action. I want to remind us of the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whereby a Bedouin came to the mosque and then he left his camel and he was going into the mosque, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, "How about the camel?" He said, "I've left the camel under the care of Allah." And the Prophet said, "Go back, tie the camel, then leave it under the care of Allah." So, whenever we want to see a change happen in our lives, we're making du'as about it. Please remember that we also need to take action. Action is essential. Sometimes when Allah wants to answer our du'as, He gives us a task to complete. I want to remind us of Prophet Noah. When Allah wanted to accept his du'as, He asked him to build a boat. But is it a boat or a ship? A ship, right? Yeah. And then what happened? He went back to Allah and said, "Allah, they messed up the ship." And Allah said, "Don't worry." And because of he tying his camel so many centuries ago, we're all here today because our ancestors got into that ship. So I want to ask you, if you have taken a decision for peace and you have written, now you're going to also write down goals you need, because this is individual based. Whatever is pricking you is unique to you. So you have taken a decision, you have written down the decision. I want you to now write 3 action steps you need to take with regards to that decision you have taken. For those things that are robbing you of peace, what action steps, 3 action steps can you take? And what's that first one you can take today? Make it number 1. What's that first step you can take today to enhance the peace in your heart and in your home? Because it's not about us coming here and sharing tips and then going back and say, we discussed this. But what are you committing to doing? How are you committing to building your ship? Allah has given us all the resources we need. We have all the resources. Sometimes we just choose to be in an unresourceful state. Like Nigeria right now, we're resource rich, but we're in an unresourceful state. There are countries that are poorer than us that are doing better. So remember that whatever you need, Allah has given you the resources. It is your commitment to using those resources that would cause the change you want to see in your life and in your home. We have all the resources we need. Allah has given us a lot of gifts. Do we know how to use the gifts? So there's this picture of a man who has plenty ladders, and he was trying to look over a wall. And then what did he do? He took the ladders and put them on top of each other, flat, and was climbing on it to look over the wall. Abuse of resources. How do you use a ladder? You stand it. So I want you to ask yourself, the things that are robbing me of peace, what resources do I currently have that I can use to solve these current challenges that I have? Look deeply. Your resources may even be consulting other people. Your resources may be having maybe a weekly class in your house. Your resource could be eliciting your family values and sharing it with the young ones in your house. There is always something you can do. And whatever you have chosen to do, you need to commit time and effort to it. That's the only way you will see a change. So we have spoken about the mind, learning what we need to learn, and we have spoken about understanding how to actually process what is happening. When we know how to process what is happening, we take action better, which is using the body. And then we need to understand our why. The why we do what we do. Are we tying it to our purpose on earth? Because Allah has told us He has created us only to worship Him. He has created men and jinn only to worship Him. So, are we doing all this in alignment with our purpose for being here? Are we seeking peace in alignment with our purpose for being here on earth? Is the intention for the peace to worship Allah? Because when we don't align our intention to our purpose, we can seek to achieve what we want through other means that may not be ecological. When I say ecological, good for you, good for other people, good for the world, good for your hereafter, ecological. So when we don't, because there are times when we seek peace and we don't have healthy boundaries around what we're doing. I do family life and business, consulting, and sometimes when couples come to me,